Her white Mercedes slammed into my gate and crumpled like a soda can, airbags blasting, cameras rolling, the whole neighborhood watching. And my gate didn't move an inch. That was the moment arrogance met physics, and it was the sound of justice. But if you think this story started there, you're wrong. It began months earlier when I thought I was losing my mind, when I wondered if maybe I was the crazy one. My name's Roy Henderson. I'm 52, a contractor who built half the houses in Pine Valley back when this place was nothing but farmland and dreams. I've spent 3 decades pouring concrete, fixing foundations, making sure things don't fall down. My wife Susan and I just wanted peace on our little slice of land. No HOA meetings, no neighbor drama, just quiet mornings with coffee. That peace ended the day Karen Miller, Pine Valley's HOA president, decided my private driveway was her personal shortcut. The first time she drove straight through my cedar gate like it was made of paper. I was standing there with splinters in my hands when she rolled down her window, flashed that fake realtor smile, and chirped, "Hi there, I'm Karen, HOA president. We need to talk about this gate situation." I just stared at her. Gate situation. "Lady, you just destroyed my property." She waved like I was being dramatic. "That old thing was a safety hazard. Emergency access, you understand." My blood pressure spiked. Emergency access. On my land. She had as much authority here as my garden hose had over NASA. I told her flat out this was private property. No easement, no community right-of-way. She didn't even blink. "We'll see about that," she said before driving off like she owned the place. I called the sheriff. Sheriff Brooks came out, decent guy, or so I thought. I showed him the wreckage, explained everything. He shifted on his feet, looked everywhere but at me, and finally mumbled, "Well, Roy, looks like a civil matter. Maybe you two can work it out. Work it out." Someone had just rammed a car through my gate, and he wanted me to shake hands about it. I felt my stomach drop. Something wasn't right. And when my neighbor Mike wandered over, he confirmed it. White Mercedes. "Yeah, that's Karen. She's been testing boundaries. Word is she needs access for some development project." That's when it hit me. This wasn't random. This was calculated. And when Mike told me Brooks was married to Karen's sister, it all made sense. The sheriff wasn't lazy. He was compromised. Family first, law second, which meant I was on my own. From there, the hits came fast. A county inspector showed up with anonymous complaints about my property. Suddenly, my permits weren't good enough. Then came violation notices, impossible deadlines, and a neat little $800 penalty. Karen's white Mercedes started cruising past with her phone out, recording like she was building a case. My business page online blew up overnight with fake reviews. Long-term clients canceled contracts saying they couldn't afford the risk. Even Susan's bookkeeping clients started leaving after whispers about instability at home. I sat at the kitchen table one night staring at those reviews, my wife crying beside me, and for the first time in years I felt cracked. I caught myself thinking maybe I should just give up. Maybe sell out, let her win, get our lives back. And I hated myself for it. Was I wrong? Was I really the problem? That thought alone made me feel like I was losing my grip. Then came the twist. Mike slid a recorder across my kitchen table and pressed play. Karen's voice spilled out. "Just say you're concerned about safety. Don't mention the development project. Stick to the script." Another neighbor, nervous, whispered back that I'd never been aggressive. Karen's voice turned to ice. "That doesn't matter. What matters is creating a pattern." My skin crawled. This wasn't paranoia. This was a script. She was orchestrating everything. As if that wasn't enough, an anonymous email landed in my inbox with scanned contracts. Karen was promised $200,000 if she secured access through my land. That was it. That was the reason for every fake complaint, every smear, every whisper campaign. I wasn't just unlucky. I was the obstacle standing in the way of her payday. That night I pulled out a yellow legal pad and started sketching. 30 years as a contractor teaches you something: every problem has a solution. Every structure has weak points. Karen thought mine were financial, social, bureaucratic. She forgot I was a builder. My world is steel, concrete, and load-bearing truths. So I designed a new gate cedar on the outside, a fortress on the inside. 3 feet deep rebar and concrete sunk into bedrock, strong enough to stop a freight train. I built it at night under floodlights, sweating, grinding every bolt and every bag of cement a vow. This wasn't construction, it was defiance. Susan would come out, touch the cedar boards, and whisper, "Will it hold?" And I'd tell her it'll do more than hold. It'll tell her what we can't. The day came sooner than I thought. Karen showed up with her whole circus Mercedes, gleaming developer Tom Davidson at her side, even a local news crew ready to film her victory. Sheriff Brooks followed behind like a man walking into his own funeral. She strutted around like a conquering general, certain today was the day she'd break me. I watched from my porch as she climbed back into her car, adjusted the mirrors, and hit the gas. The Mercedes roared, building speed 25 miles an hour of German engineering barreling toward my innocent-looking gate. And then, bam! The sound shook the neighborhood. Her hood folded like foil airbags, detonated steam, gushed out like a geyser. My gate didn't even flinch, not a scratch. Karen stumbled out, face powdered white from the airbags, eyes wide like she couldn't process what just happened. The news cameras caught every second her pride, her Mercedes, her reputation, all shattered in one instant. Tom Davidson screamed at her, furious that his $200,000 payday had just gone up in radiator smoke. Neighbors poured into the street phones, out laughing, recording. Mike sipped his coffee like it was the best show in town. And then, like a movie twist nobody saw coming, a man in a suit walked straight up to me. Calm, professional, maybe mid-30s. He extended his hand. "I'm David," he said. "I think it's time Aunt Karen learned about consequences." Aunt Karen. That revelation hit like a second crash. He was family and a lawyer. Turned out he'd been the anonymous source feeding me intel, building a case against her for years after she'd ruined his own life. That night, the community center overflowed. David laid out folder after folder, emails between Karen and developers, financial records lists of families she'd bled dry. Neighbors gasped as they realized they'd been pawns in her game. The state trooper reviewed the files, looked Karen dead in the eye, and said, "Ma'am, you're under arrest for conspiracy, harassment, and abuse of authority." The sound of handcuffs clicking shut might as well have been church bells. And that's where it ended. Karen, once the untouchable HOA queen, now a disgraced criminal, hauled off in front of her neighbors. Her car totaled her schemes, exposed her name synonymous with abuse and ruin. Here's the thing I want you to remember. Bullies always underestimate the people they target until it's too late.